Starting in June, 4 willing test subjects will spend a year confined while acting as though they were living on Mars. In order to discover the effects that a year in isolation with few resources has on human health, NASA experts claim that they are making every effort to make the experiment as realistic as they can. As we move from low Earth orbit, from Moon to Mars, we're going to have a lot more resource restrictions than we have on the International Space Station, and we're going to be a lot further from Earth or any help from Earth, said Dr. Grace Douglas, the principal investigator for the Crew Health Performance Exploration Analog. The 4 crew members will reside in a modest dwelling unit that was built with the aid of a massive 3D printer to mimic how NASA might build houses using Martian soil on the planet's surface. They will carry out research, cultivate food, exercise, and undergo frequent testing so that scientists can understand what a year on Mars may do to the body and mind. NASA's next minor step towards putting humans on the surface of Mars is to watch 4 individuals spend a year in a 3D printed enclosure. As soon as the 2030s, according to NASA, humans could be sent to Mars. The astronauts might spend the first mission's 9-month return trip on Earth before beginning the protracted journey back to Earth. The 4 crew members who will enter the habitat in June haven't been given a name by NASA, but the agency did say that they were chosen based on standards comparable to those used for the astronaut corps. They are professionals with advanced degrees in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, who also meet the necessary physical and psychological requirements for the experiment. In the 1,700 square foot residence for the following year, there are 4 individual rooms and a bathroom with a shower and a toilet that is shared. Dedicated workstations, a medical station, and a lounge area featuring board games like Monopoly and Settlers of Catan, Starfarers Edition, as well as a PlayStation 3 and Super Nintendo console are all present. The crew members will cultivate ready-to-eat foods like tomatoes and leafy greens and inside glass houses, which will also allow NASA to assess the caliber and effectiveness of its plan to cultivate crops on Mars. Scientists from NASA will examine their waste as they develop things that can be used in space. As with astronauts connecting with Earth, there will even be a 22-minute communication delay between the people and the outside world. But in addition to gathering data from the trials the participants carry out, NASA will attentively watch them for symptoms of physical and emotional stress. According to NASA, it aims to make the experiment as similar to Mars as feasible, which entails adding extra man-made stressors like resource depletion, equipment breakdown, and excessive workloads in addition to isolation. For instance, the crew members will need to properly distribute their limited food supplies. Regular blood samples and psychiatric tests will be required of them.